Every single decision you make is the right decision because it will either get you to where you want to go or you're going to fail and you're going to learn a motherfucking lesson and you're going to get back up and you're going to go again. Every single decision you make is the right one and the wrong one. Every single decision you make has a cost and a trade-off. And it depends on if you're willing to live with the consequences, if you're willing to live with the trade-offs of whatever decision you're making. Welcome to the Visualize Meditations podcast, hosted by your gal pal, Sasha Patil, a Chopra certified meditation teacher, athlete, and adventurer. This is a place where high performance and health meets fulfillment and fun. Each week, I'm bringing you guided visualization meditations and honest solo sessions where I share personal development, my most unhinged stories, and intimate interviews. Whether we're chatting wellness, achievement, or building an aligned community, we're here to create the life of your dreams and have an absolute blast doing it. Hi, hello, what the hell is up? It's your gal pal Sasha, and we're here and we're back for another episode. Oh my god, it's like, will this bitch leave us alone? No, the answer is no. We're back for another episode of the Visualize Meditations podcast. It's me. Hello. Hi. Okay. To paint the scene for you right now, I am currently in my childhood bedroom. My mom and I were road tripping up and down the East Coast, and we decided to cut it 2 weeks short. We were supposed to go, and I had this thing for the business where I was going to get some meditation, speak on a panel, all that fun stuff. But the wellness portion of this tournament got canceled. So my mom and I, that was going to be the end of our road trip before I headed to my next destination. And once that got canceled, we were like, you know what? We don't have to be driving around anymore. Let's just go home. So we cut our road trip 2 weeks short and we're back in my hometown and I'm just chilling for a while. I might talk through the whole story about what happened this summer, but I'm not quite ready to do that because I'm still in the middle of it. And I'm still in the middle of this chapter in this journey, and it's been really beautiful to take care of myself, to close out old chapters, to really understand my growth, to really see how much I've evolved, to connect with my loved ones, to tie things up in really beautiful ways in order for me to commit to my life in LA. And there have been crazy synchronicities, there have been crazy learnings, and it's been partially really, really fun and partially a lot of growing pains. And again, I'll get into all of it maybe on another episode talking about what the hell has been happening this summer, but I'm not quite ready to do that yet. So that's kind of a little personal update. I'm here. I'm really prioritizing taking care of myself. I had therapy the other day, and my therapist cut our session like 20 minutes short. He's like, "You sound like you're doing really well." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good." He's like, "You sound healthy. You sound like you're taking care of yourself. You sound like you're in a great positive headspace." And I'm like, "Yeah, I am." And the reason I am feeling so good is because I am taking care of myself. I spent the last week, it was period week. I was in Atlanta with my mom. It was just us. She's the best person ever. She prioritized an Airbnb that had the amenities that are really important to me. So a gym and a pool. And literally, guys, it was period week. So I took a lot off my to-do list and I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to work and I'm going to gym and I'm going to pool and I'm going to fall asleep watching Call Her Daddy or the Tony Robbins Network every goddamn night. And I sat and I ate super, super clean. I didn't drink any alcohol. I wasn't indulging in any substances. I was sober, hanging out with my mom. And I was like, wow, like it really felt good to take care of myself and to do the things I needed to do in order to really prioritize my rest and recovery and fill up my own cup, as you will. Something I've been really prioritizing in taking care of myself is also this daily meditation. So I've loved the Waking Up app. So I've been partnering with the Waking Up app. They have a bunch of different guided meditations, a bunch of different talks and practices for me to look into. So I'm partnering with them, and I will have a link in the description and in the show notes for a 14-day free trial if you're interested in that. So it felt really good to do that. I was able to kind of really sit in reflection about some things and really able to think about everything that's been happening over the last couple of months, because this summer, the last 2 months has been really important and impactful and transformational in a lot of ways. And for me to have that space and time to process it and to just enjoy myself is really important to me. So I've been feeling really good the last couple of weeks, and I've noticed, as long as I'm moving towards my goals, I'm moving my body every day, I'm eating really well and super clean, I'm connecting with my loved ones, and I'm having some fun. I'm content living my life like that every single day? And it's like, as long as I have those things in my life, I'm good. I'm great. I'm chilling like a motherfucking villain, bitch. Okay. So let's get into the topic of today's episode. And the topic of today's episode is figuring out the next best thing to do and to not overwhelm yourself with future tripping and how to avoid this future tripping spiral that we can get ourselves into. I recently had a friend who was messaging me, and right now she's also in a transitional phase of life. And she had a mentor tell her, "Oh, any choice you make for the next step of your career is going to determine where you're going to live and where you're going to put roots down and what kind of life you're going to live for the rest of forever." When my friend told me about this, I really strongly disagreed with this opinion. And in some ways, like, sure, like, it depends on your situation, right? Where any choice that you're making about where you want to live or a relationship you're getting into or the next step in your career or a risk you might want to take financially, anything that you're debating is like gonna be a ripple effect and a ricochet effect to every single choice that you're making for the rest of forever. But isn't that the case with every decision that we've ever made? Isn't that the case where every decision that you've made has led you to the point where you're going to be now? And every choice you're going to make, you don't know where it's going to take you, but it's going to take you on a path that you were meant to be in the first place. You are going to go along the path that the universe has destined for you, and you work in conjunction with the universe to create your reality because it's based on your choices, your decisions, how you spend your time, energy, love, money, you name it. But then also, like, there's fate that comes into play. There's the universe that comes into play. There's destiny that comes into play, right? And I think it was something I was sitting on and thinking about with my girlfriend and chatting about with my girlfriend, where it's like, yeah, sure, like any choice you make is really going to set up your future and set up your life, but maybe not in the way you expect. Maybe it's not this choice you're making right now is going to be the most permanent decision for the rest of forever. It's going to determine the rest of your future. Like, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that the next choice will lead you to the next thing, that will lead you to the next choice, that will lead you to the next thing. Sure, like, it will put you on that path and it'll put you in that direction. But I don't think one decision is the end all be all of what your life is going to be, because at the end of the day, we're making decisions and choices every single day. Any choice you make any day can change the trajectory of your future every single time. So, yes and no. But I think we might put a lot of pressure on ourselves to make the quote right choice and to make the choice that's setting you up for the exact future you want right now. But here's the thing. You don't have to have your entire life figured out right now. You don't need to have the next 10 years of your life figured out right now. You can have goals, you can have dreams, you can have directions you want to go in. You can say, like, oh, by this age, I know I want to have achieved XYZ. I know I want to make this amount of money. I know I want this kind of relationship. I know I want to live in this kind of place. I know I want my health to look like this. I know I want these material goods in my life. I want this kind of home. I want this kind of relationship with my friends, this kind of relationship with my family. Insert XYZ outcome that you want. You know that you have dreams and goals of 5, 10 years down the road. Sure, fine. But this decision you're making right now does not need to determine all of that. This one decision right now is not going to determine getting all of the outcomes you desire and reaching all of your goals and achieving all of your dreams. This one decision isn't going to do that. Decisions compound. So if you make one decision now, one decision today to move you in that direction, amazing. You make one decision tomorrow that's moving you in that direction, okay, incredible. Life is just a combination and a compounding of all of the decisions that we're making about how we want to spend our time, energy, money, love, all of that. So at the end of the day, you don't need to make a choice right now that's going to determine your entire life and your entire future. You just need to figure out the next best step. What's the next best thing? And that's all you need to figure out. And it reminds me of this quote that my best friend Josh says on the Mastermind Moments podcast all the time. If you haven't listened to that podcast, go ahead and listen. It's two best friends shooting the shit. But he always says this to me, where he says, don't focus on the top of the mountain, because the top of the mountain is foggy. You can't see the top. Focus on the next step. And as you focus on the next step and the next step and the next step, the top of the mountain becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. And eventually you're at the top of the mountain. And what do you know? You're looking around at the incredible view. Life's a climb, and keep on moving, and keep climbing, keep the faith, keep the faith. Anyway, does anyone else love Miley Cyrus, or is it just me? Haha. um, Life's a climb, but the view's great. Okay, please tell me you know the quote to that movie, and if you don't, it's fine. I'm not holding it against you, but maybe a little bit. The gist of all of this is that life is long and you can have dreams, goals about what you want to achieve in the future, but life is also short. So you can make a choice and change your fucking mind. You can make a choice and make another choice and another choice and another choice that will get you in the direction of where you want to go. It's not like one choice is going to be the end all be all of your future. But because you can change your mind and things can change and your decisions compound on one another and they build on each other. So as long as you're making decisions that get you in the general direction of where you need to go, that's all that really matters. I don't think you need to put so much emphasis and so much pressure on one decision, okay? Sure, big decisions like where you want to move or if you want to marry somebody or if you want kids. Yes, those decisions do really matter. But also, you can change your mind about some things. You can change your mind about where you want to live. You can up and move. As far as getting married, I mean, you can change your mind. It's a little bit more challenging. As far as having kids go, yeah, okay. You can't really go back on that decision either. But those are basically the three decisions that are a little bit more set in stone. But even some of them aren't like completely set in stone. Like you can always change your mind and life is long. Like really, who knows what kind of journey you're going to go on, right? Like who knows what the future is going to hold. If you looked 10 years in the past and thought about where were you 10 years in the past and you think about today, are you in a spot now that you really thought you were going to be in 10 years ago? For me, no. I would have no idea that I was going to be here in this moment doing what I'm doing. I would have had no fucking clue. Past me would have been so happy at what I'm doing. Past me would have been ecstatic to know the life I'm living right now, but she would have had no idea what I was doing. Or she would have no idea about what could be possible in the next 10 years. You know, there are some things that I didn't achieve. There are some things I achieved tenfold. There are some things I didn't even know that I wanted, that I welcomed into my life. There are things that I really wanted that I could not be further away from now. And that's just what life is, right? Like we have the opportunity to embrace it, to surrender to the experience, to just enjoy it and to soak up every experience possible from this life and to learn from it and to grow from it and to pursue our dreams and to have fun in the process. But again, don't put too much emphasis on every single one decision because they compound over time. If you choose to eat poorly yesterday, that doesn't mean you're going to be fat forever. Like you choose to eat poorly yesterday, okay, that's one decision. Choose to eat better today, and then choose to eat better the next day. And eventually those decisions will compound on themselves. It's like going to the gym. Going to the gym one time is not going to determine the rest of your future, but going to the gym every single day, those decisions compound, and that makes you the type of person who is healthy. So that's just my thoughts on that is like, you don't need to freak out about future tripping about every single one decision, if it's going to be the right decision or the wrong decision, because every single decision you make is the right decision, because it will either get you to where you want to go, or you're going to fail and you're going to learn a motherfucking lesson and you're going to get back up and you're going to go again. Every single decision you make is the right one and the wrong one. Every single decision you make has a cost and a trade-off. And it depends on if you're willing to live with the consequences, if you're willing to live with the trade-offs of whatever decision you're making. But at the end of the day, life is all about making these decisions. You are an accumulation of all the decisions that you've made about things, people, how you spend your time, energy, money, love, all of that. One thing I'll say is that if you're stuck in a transitional phase of life, like my girlfriend who I was talking to, she's kind of in a transitional phase of life right now. And she is kind of at a crossroads. She's like, I don't know if I want to pursue this. I don't know if I want to pursue that. Do I go for this type of job? Do I look for jobs in this city? Do I do school? Do I go get more education? Do I do this? Do I do that? And I was like, I gave her the same advice that I gave another friend who's going through something very similar months prior, which is pursue every single opportunity that feels exciting to you, and the right thing will fall into place. So apply for all the jobs. Apply for all the jobs in all the cities. Apply for all the school things that sound interesting to you. Anything that sounds exciting to you, anything that sounds alive to you, just pursue that thing and the right thing will fall into place. Because when you're putting energy out there, eventually the right thing will find you as well. So again, I don't think it's like every one decision's the end all be all of everything. Put your energy out there, follow the things that are exciting to you, follow your dreams, and the right things will fall into place the way they are. Because even if you're trying to control the outcome, it's never going to turn out the exact way that you envisioned it in your head. The universe is going to have some other beautiful roller coaster that will take you exactly where you want it to go, but it might not be in the timing and it might not be in the way you expected. It is your job to figure out what you want and why you want it, and it is the universe's job to figure out when and how. As long as you're working with the universe, right? As long as you're being like, yo, universe, this is what I want and this is why I want it and this is the work I'm going to put in to get there, the universe would be like, okay, bitch, amazing. It's going to be like a couple years later than you expected. It's going to be a couple years earlier than you expected. And it's going to be in this like really weird ass way that you weren't expecting to receive it from. And life is kind of funny that way. It reminds me of during COVID, I had just graduated college in COVID and I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. Let me paint a picture for you. Let me tell you a little story. I happened to graduate college in 2020. So the last 6 weeks of my school were virtual. I went home for spring break, never came back. It's a whole story in itself. But essentially, I had my life all set out. You know, I had the relationship I was in, I had my apartment, I had a job lined up after school. I was graduating, like things were great. My health was great. Like everything was like going according to plan. And I feel like I had it all figured out. And what do you know? Fucking COVID happens, okay? What a curveball. And I got laid off from my job. I no longer had a secure job for when I was graduating. And I had no idea what I wanted to do. I knew I had to do something during my time in COVID, so I just pursued a handful of things. I applied to jobs. I was thinking about grad school, so I was studying for the GRE and took the GRE during COVID. I applied to grad schools. I worked on my business. I got into great shape. I worked out a ton. And I pursued everything that was exciting to me. And then the right thing ended up coming to me. And, you know, I ended up finding a job and ended up being in that job for a while. And that job taught me so much. It taught me so many skills. And I was so grateful to be able to move back to New York and be able to be in the industry I wanted to be in and work for a company that I was really just excited to get in there, get my hands dirty, do the thing. And it led me to something else that led me to something else that led me to something else. And, you know, it didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to. But I just pursued everything that was interesting to me, and then the right thing found me. And that is what I'd advise anyone who's in kind of a transitional season of life, who's putting a lot of emphasis on one decision that you're making. Like, let's say you just moved to a new city and you don't really know what you want to do with your time. And, you know, maybe you're happy about the move, maybe you're not happy about the move. And I'd say, like, what sounds exciting to you? What sounds fun to you? What makes you feel alive? What lights you up? What sparks some joy? Like, just pursue the things that are good for you and your mental health, but also will put you in the direction of the life you want to have, whatever that is. And the small decisions will compound. So there's no need to put a lot of pressure on yourself. There's no reason to put a lot of pressure on every single decision, but it is something to think about when you are making every decision is this decision putting me in the direction that I want to go in? Yes or no? Is this decision an investment in my future? Yes or no? Is there a decision that is better for my health, my wellness, my well-being, my happiness? Yes or no? And make decisions that way, but it doesn't need to be like, oh my God, this one decision is going to determine how I'm going to live the rest of my life forever and ever and ever. No. Okay. Life doesn't really work like that. Make the best decision for you today. Figure out the next best step for you today. And then after that, you'll get it all sorted and you'll figure it all out. But in the meantime, it's okay. You don't need to future trip on everything. Life is going to turn out differently than what we pictured anyway. You know, like you can have your dreams, your goals, and you are going to live your fucking vision board out to the millionth degree, but it might not be exactly the way you expected. But that's kind of the fun of life, no, is to not know what's in store for us. You know, it's probably going to turn out a lot better than you were expecting. So y'all, this is just something that's been top of mind because I've been talking to a lot of my friends about this recently. A lot of my friends are in kind of these transitional phases of life, and it's something that we've been chatting about a lot, where it's like the decisions that you're making in this season of life when you're in a transitional phase of life, like, do they make or break you? Are you determining your entire future by making one choice? I don't think that's true. And I think we could take the pressure off. Just make the decision that's best for you in this moment. Make the next best step. You don't need to figure out your entire life. You just need to figure out the next best thing for you. And the rest Just fucking enjoy the ride, enjoy your life. And that's just my food for thought today. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, let me know. Quick little pep talk, quick little, a little something. I'm so excited to be here. It's summer and I just want to steer clear of any drama or unnecessary tears. I just want everything to fall into place and I just want to have no fear. Or I know I'm going to feel fear, but I'm still going to do it anyway because I don't think I should shy away from making decisions that may lead me astray to doing the things that are important to me, but also I just want to make sure that I'm building enough time for play in every single goddamn day. All right, y'all. We'll catch you guys next week on the Visualize Meditations podcast. Bye. I hope today's episode left you feeling inspired and aligned. Make sure you're following the show so you never miss out on our weekly meditations or solo chats. I love connecting with you guys. Let's talk on Instagram and TikTok at Visualize Meditations, and we will catch you guys next week on the Visualize Meditations podcast. Bye.